let's take a look at your first English assessment task. You can see here on the first page some of the key details you need to know, like the outcomes being assessed and the due date, which is Thursday of week 7, the 14th of March. If we jump down to the bottom of the page, you can see the task in a nutshell. What you're going to need to do is write a biographical narrative on a significant event from the life of an older individual. We're taking our inspiration from the book Boy by Roald Dahl. If you continue to the next page, you can see the task broken down into steps to help your progression. First of all, you need to select a subject. You're looking for somebody who's an adult, who has lots of life experience, so they have plenty of stories to draw upon for you. Ask them to think about an event that they could talk about and give them some time to think about it. This person could be a family member like a grandparent or a family friend, or if you're really stuck, a teacher from school. They have many great stories as well. Once they've thought of an event and you've ask them to make a time with you to come back and do the interview. While they're thinking of their story, start some interview preparation. You want to gather as many details as you possibly can from their story. So think of some open-ended questions that might help them draw out some of their information. Now, open-ended questions are questions that require more than a yes or no answer. Or a 1 or 2 word answer. They're to give more description. The more description, the better story you'll be able to create, and the more you have to work with. Once they're ready, conduct your interview. Now, we recommend you bring a recording device with you, like a tablet or a smartphone, to record the whole thing as you go. Then you can go back and listen to it afterwards to collect any additional facts. Also take some handwritten notes as you're going, but let them continue the flow of their story. Make sure you ask any questions that you need that you've prepared, or any others that you think of to get some more information if you need to. Make sure you thank them at the end. Next, once you finish your interview, transcribe the main facts of the information. So type up the points you wrote down, listen back to your recording, and add any facts or quotes that you take from that will be useful in your story. Then organise it logically, so it's all grouped nicely together. Sometimes when we tell stories, we skip around a little bit, so you can put that together so you get a nice flow in your story. A bit like what we did with the Great Mouse Plot activity in class. Then you're ready to draft your narrative. Using the facts that you've collected, write a draft copy of your narrative. Now, it won't be perfect, but do your best to include some literary techniques to make it nice and interesting. You are allowed to use creative license, a bit like what Roald Dahl did in his book Boy. When he was writing the Great Mouse Plot, he was 7 in that story. He's obviously not going to remember as an adult all exact details and what exactly people said. He's used creative license to build the picture. You are as well, so long as you hold to the crucial facts that the person has told you. Once you've done that, go back and redraft it. It won't be perfect the first time. Now you have an opportunity to go back and make it really interesting. Cut out any unnecessary information that you don't need in there. Add in some more description if you do, or some quotes if you do. And then maybe have someone read over it like a parent to give you some initial feedback. Once you're happy with your redraft, go and find 3 different people to edit. Now, these people could be a friend, it could be a parent, it could also be a teacher from the After School Learning Hub. Have them read over it, give you some feedback about the story. Are they interested? Do they understand what's happening? Basically, if they're not engaged and they're bored to tears, go back and complete step 6 to make it a bit more interesting. Once you've edited your work, then you're ready to format it for submission. So make sure it's ready with the appropriate conventions. So we're looking at Calibri 12 or 11 point font, which you can see here. It makes it a bit easier to read. You may choose a fun title in a fun font if you would like to, but make sure it's in about the size of the equivalent to 16 to 18 point Calibri font. We also suggest you put some footers and page numbers at the bottom of the page, just like you can see here. I usually put a page number at the left-hand side. In the middle, I usually write what the task is, in this case, biographical narrative, and my first and last name in the other corner. That way, if a page goes missing or the assignment is dropped, then people know how to get it back to you or to the teacher that it's related to. Once you're ready, take it to the hub, put a cover page on it and sign all the details and sign it in to Mrs. Johnson. You're able to do this a day or 2 early if you'd like to. Just let Mrs. Johnson know which subject it's for and task it's for. We should expect that your story should be about between 1 and 3 pages long. It's only about one event, so it shouldn't be longer than that. If we look down at this final page, we have the marking criteria. We have our 3 major points Mrs. Ward and I will be looking at: how imaginatively you've communicated your event, you've made connections between audience, purpose and context, and you've used some writing conventions well. Now, whilst the Stage 4 student is supposed to be performing at a C grade level, I would like you to be aiming for the top here. What would it take for you to achieve some of these different things? Read it carefully. Each of these points match to one in the marking criteria. This will help you develop your skills in your writing and help make them better and better as you continue through your schooling. Now, if you have any questions, make sure you come and ask Mrs. Ward or myself. You can also ask other English teachers like Mr. Lee or people at the After School Learning Hub. You can also send us some emails with any questions to help you along. Mrs. Ward and I are really looking forward to reading your stories.